Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're here to talk about the Siriu anamorphic 35mm full frame lens. Let's get into it. What an anamorphic lens does is the rear element is in the shape of an oval. Instead of being spherical and round, it's more of an oval. So it's going to squeeze down your image, letting you stretch it back out in post, making it much wider than 16:9. You can be used to a 35mm lens, but when you're using this, it actually looks much wider. Because of the wide aspect ratio, it shows off so much more of your environment, really allowing you to be immersed in the scene. Characteristics that you can expect from anamorphic lenses, obviously the super wide aspect ratio. You got oval bokeh because the rear element is shaped like an oval. Horizontal flares from any light source that's pointed at the lens. So if you point this thing at the sun, it's just gonna paint this flare. And Siriu actually makes this lens in two different flare options. You can have a blue flare. So no matter what color your light is, it's gonna, because of the coating on the lens, it's gonna create a blue flare. They also make the lens in neutral, which is what I got. And that will replicate whatever color of the light is pointed at you. This will just make it that color. And I think that's a lot more desirable personally. But if you're going for a sci-fi look or a Michael Bay look, maybe go with the blue. On the Sony FX6, I was just so amazed at how small this thing is. Normally, anamorphic lenses are absolutely huge and extremely expensive, like in the $50,000, $60,000 range. And this lens comes in at $1,300, which can seem like a lot for a lens, but for what it does, it's 100% worth it in my opinion. The lens has a 120-degree focus throw. The focusing is smooth. It's got a declicked aperture ring going all the way down to T2.9 and all the way up to T16. This lens weighs 425 grams, just under a pound. It's 0.9 pounds. But compared to other lenses, it's super easy to put it on a smaller camera like my FX3. I put it on a gimbal and it balanced just fine. I was able to go out and shoot in low light mode in anamorphic in Ocean City, and the footage I got was really beautiful. So some things I don't like about this lens, there's really not that much, but if I had to pick, it'd probably be the minimum focus distance. You really can't get as close as I feel like I should be able to my subjects. So you kind of need to be at least 3, almost 4 feet away before you can actually focus on something good. And obviously it's a manual focus lens, so keep that in mind. Definitely use focus peaking, which will highlight whatever's in focus, and that will definitely help you. And also keep in mind that if you're using this on a Sony a7 IV or a camera that doesn't have the ability to stretch out the image for you, you're gonna be looking at a really skinny image. Focus is gonna be hard to pull. So just keep that in mind. If you have an external monitor on your camera, a lot of the monitors have options to where you can preview it completely squeezed out. So you're essentially seeing what you're gonna see when you manually squeeze it out. Another thing that I'm torn between with this lens is on the edges, you're gonna get some barrel distortion. And that can be a pretty desirable thing. A lot of people like that look because it goes hand in hand with shooting anamorphic. But I'm just thinking of what could be a con potentially for some people, and maybe not everyone would like that look. Other than that, it's been so amazing and fun to shoot with this lens and just see that wide aspect ratio, how it really changes the entire look of any project you work on, and how it just adds so much more production value, I think, to the story that you're telling. So if you're in the market for a good anamorphic lens, definitely keep the Siriu 35mm full frame anamorphic in mind because it's a beast. I want to take a second and thank the people at Siriu for sending me this lens so that I could review it. I'm not getting paid, I'm not keeping the lens. I do have to send it back, but thank you so much for letting me get my hands on it, do some shooting with it, and it's just been so fun, and I hope I get to work with you guys again in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.